Hi, my name's Chris Wilson. I'm one of the founders of Grinding Gear Games, and we're here to show you some of the stuff in Path of Exile Ascendancy, which will be coming to Brazil. So Path of Exile Ascendancy is about, there was an emperor called Azaro who lived a couple of hundred years earlier, and he set up these dangerous trials throughout the world, which are designed to find a suitable heir to take over after he's finished. So I'll show you some of these. So this one here is the Rising Larva trial. The purpose of this one is to teach you both to respect the larva and also how to solve puzzles involving it. So you can enter the larva once it's down like this, and you'll find these monsters that are spawning from these monster spawners, and you have to kill them quickly before the larva comes back. When it heats up, you only have a few seconds to get to safety. Now there are 6 trials like this throughout the game. I can show you another one. And these 6 trials serve as both a introduction to the content, but also a way to show the players and master the mechanics of them. So this one here deals with spinning blades, which, as you can see, really hurt. And it's possible to learn the different shapes of damage that they have and to get through alive in order to gain access to the Labyrinth. So each one of these teaches how a simple mechanic works, in this case the shapes that wielding blades follow. So I'll show you the Labyrinth itself. So this is the area that you start in when you're about to enter the Labyrinth. Basically, when you make a trip in here, you have to complete the Labyrinth in one go or abort it. It's not something you can start, do a few levels of, and then come back to later. So like the rest of Path of Exile, the Labyrinth is randomly generated, but this Labyrinth is even more generated than normal. So every day the entire layout changes. The connections between the rooms, the types of rooms used, the types of traps like this one here, they completely change from one day to the next. And this means you get these online leaderboards of players competing to try to get the best times through the Labyrinth. So for example, in this variation here, there's a locked door and another locked door, and both of them require a golden key. So you have to journey off into a side area to try to find that key. Now when the generator generates the Labyrinth for a specific day, it's able to put cool secret things in there, like maybe you get a secret passage between 2 areas, maybe it spawns some shrines or chests that you have to find a way to access. And these various things can give you advantages while you're playing through on that given day. So in this case I'm looking for the side area that's got the golden key in it. Now, the trials that we were looking at earlier, each have one specific trap type that they teach you, but in the Labyrinth you actually get to see the trap types combined together. So this one here contains spikes, as you can see. When you walk on them, they trigger. And I believe it also has the Rising Larva, so you get to see different combinations of lava and spikes together. An interesting mechanic here is the fact that there are tar zombies in this Labyrinth, which means you walk slowly when you're near them. Now normally tar is a frustrating thing when you're fighting monsters, but here with traps involved, it's very, very dangerous. Now you'll notice that I found a switch. If I click it, it opens up this wall, enabling me to access this secret area, full of monsters and also a dark shrine. I have to say, it's very cool playing the game client in Portuguese. So dark shrines like this modify how the Labyrinth works for that particular run. In this case it says, feel the corruption in your veins. Now we should get that one translated, and we will do by the time it's released. So this one here means that the monsters poison you when they hit, and the Labyrinth drops more items. So it's possible to find the locations of these shrines to make the Labyrinth more challenging and rewarding for yourself. Now the timeline of the release, so we'll be releasing the Portuguese version on December 11th, and that comes with another content update, a little bit smaller than this one, but certainly worth playing for. We'll be releasing this in both English and Portuguese early next year. Yeah, I'm struggling to get through these traps. This one here basically shows the roaming blade sentries and the spikes together. So beginning near the end of this area, and you'll see there's a golden chest here. Now that's where you can get the key. So I'll skip ahead a little bit. After you've made some progress through the labyrinth, you're able to access one of the boss fights. So I'll show you a boss fight. The boss that you're fighting against is Emperor Izaro. He's the guy who created the labyrinth and the one who's imprisoned within it. Now his boss fight varies from day to day. You get different mechanics that make it so that it's more or less challenging depending on what you've done in the previous fights. So in this particular fight here, there are these runic circles you have to stand in. If you stand in them, you're able to damage Izaro. If you're standing outside of them, then he gets a shield on him that protects him. Now you'll notice he has the green goddess on his shoulders. That's the god that he was worshipping while he was an emperor. And now that he's in the labyrinth, you have to fight the two of them together. So I'll skip through the rest of this boss fight using a cheat. So as you progress along, you get to encounter the Emperor several different times during the labyrinth run. Now once you've killed him for the final time, which I'll just show you here, skipping by really fast, you go to access the rewards chamber, and that's where you get some really cool things for completing the labyrinth. So the first thing you get is to choose an Ascendancy class. Now this is basically a subclass of your character. Now my apologies for the flavor text here being in English. But as you'll see here, you get a variety of different powerful skills. Now these three classes show very different ways of playing a duelist. For example, the Slayer deals with decapitating guys, getting in combat, basically staying attacking the whole time. Whereas the Champion leads parties, and his various skills here deal with increasing the power of your allies rather than yourself. Now my favorite one is the Gladiator here with the gratuitous violence skill, translated awesomely into Portuguese here. Now this one is quite special because it means that while you're fighting, you have a chance to cause bleeding on enemies, and then bleeding enemies have a chance to explode. So I'm going to select this Gladiator specialization. So the other reward that you get for completing the labyrinth is access to the Enchantment Device. And this enables you to put a mod on a pair of your gloves in the normal difficulty setting. So I'm going to put them on my gloves here. And as you can see here, it will summon a meteor while I'm fighting monsters. So let's go test this out. So as you'll see here, when I attack monsters, every few seconds it will cause a meteor to spawn like that. This is a cool bonus for the character. But if you don't want meteors, like my character doesn't specialize in fire, so he doesn't necessarily need to have a meteor falling every few seconds. It's possible to redo the labyrinth to try to get a different property and find something that's more appropriate for your character. Now the mechanic of these traps here, the dart shooters, is that when they hit you, you get slowed down. And that's really dangerous in combination with other traps. So I'll show you, I've got 2 Ascendancy points that I can allocate into my Ascendancy class, and I've chosen the gratuitous violence skill, which means that when I kill enemies, there's a chance that they'll become bleeding and then they'll explode. So let's see if we can get it to happen with these guys here. Now the explosions can damage other enemies near them, so it's really cool to set off chain reactions. So that caused a nice explosion there. So that's Path of Exile Ascendancy, coming out in early 2016, both English and Portuguese. In the meantime, we'll be launching the Portuguese version targeted at Brazil on December 11th, and we're looking forward to having you play. Thanks very much.